Hey guys, today I'm going to show you how to make 3 different vegan and healthy pancake recipes inspired by thriving on plants on Instagram, so let's just get right into it. To begin, you're going to start with about 1/4 cup of oat flour, which you can get by blending oats until they're fine in the blender, about 1/2 cup of almond milk or any plant-based milk, and about 1/2 of a brown spotted banana. And I use some cinnamon and vanilla, which I just eyeball. It's totally optional though. Also optional is some added strawberries, and then you're just going to completely add everything into the blender and blend. You may have to scrape down the sides a bit because it does tend to get a little thick, and so you just keep scraping until it creates a thin batter. Now you can go ahead and transfer everything into a measuring cup. I find this the easiest way to pour the batter onto your pan or your skillet, but you can use whatever way you see best. Make sure you get everything because there will be a lot stuck in the bottom of the blender. You're going to want to heat a pan or a griddle and spray it with some cooking spray so that the pancakes don't stick if I could speak. And then you just want to scoop some out and kind of arrange them into pancake shapes, if that makes sense. This shot has 4 pancakes because I doubled the recipe due to my friend who is allergic to strawberries, but normally the recipe I gave you makes 2 pancakes, and trust me, that is plenty filling, I promise. This is the point where you're going to want to add your sliced strawberries if you are choosing to do so, and I would really recommend this because it's delicious. Although you could keep them plain and they would be just as good. I go ahead and eyeball when they're done. I just kind of look for the bubbles or see if they seem like they're done. And then you just want to flip them. I used a fork to flip mine, but usually it's pretty easy to flip with just a spatula. I think it's just because I was using a griddle rather than a pan. But yeah. Then you just want to make sure that both sides are cooked all the way through. Make sure that there is no visible raw batter on the strawberry ones, like around the strawberries or anything, and then you're pretty much good to go. For my pancakes, I went ahead and mixed up some PB2, but you can use normal peanut butter. It actually tastes a little bit better, but I prefer the PB2 for the low fat content. And I just spread it around, make sure that it's equally spread out. I don't know, this is so bad. I'm so sorry. Then I took some 100% maple syrup. This one is organic. I just got it at Target and put that on top because who eats pancakes without syrup? And then I put some sliced strawberries to top it all off, and that's pretty much what I did with this one. It's super good, and you can see me throwing strawberries there. For the next pancakes, you're going to need the same recipe. So you'll have your oat flour, your milk, and your banana. Then you're also going to have a tablespoon of cocoa flour or cacao flour and some optional vegan chocolate chips. And then you just want to add everything to the blender like so before besides the chocolate chips, and then blend it all up. This batter is probably going to be a little bit thicker, so you may have to scrape down the sides more, but after you're done you can go ahead and transfer it into I forgot what this is called, a measuring cup, like we did before. You may have to end up adding almond milk or water like I did to get the correct consistency that's pourable. Then you'll want to spray your pan like before and go ahead and pour your pancakes like you've been doing the last time. It's just pouring pancakes. Here is where you want to add your vegan chocolate chips if you are doing this. I highly recommend because it's bomb.com. Once they are finished cooking, you can flip them and cook them on the other side like you would a normal pancake. Once they're thoroughly cooked all the way through, you can transfer them to a plate because it's time for the display slash goodness. I don't even know. For the sauce, you are going to need a tablespoon of cocoa powder and about 4 to 5 dates and some water. Here's where you can add everything to a food processor or high-speed blender. I would recommend soaking the dates ahead of time because they were kind of hard to work with. It worked out fine for this recipe, but I would just recommend that. And you only need to add a little bit of water at a time. I ended up adding too much, so I had to add some maple syrup and cocoa powder to mine to thicken it. But just add a teeny bit at a time, scrape down the sides, and continue blending until you have a sauce-like texture. Here is the super fun part. I just added my sauce on with like a spoon kind of thing and poured it all over the pancakes. Oh my gosh, I cannot stress to you how good this chocolate sauce is. It sounds weird, but it's actually so delicious. And I decided to top mine with a couple more of the vegan chocolate chips, and then that was the end of these pancakes. For the cinnamon swirl pancakes, you're going to use the same base as you've been doing for the other pancakes, with added coconut sugar and cinnamon, and apples that are optional but recommended. At this point, you know the drill with adding everything to a blender and blending it up. Now, once you do end up transferring all of the batter into the glass container measuring cup that I always forget what it's called, you're actually going to want to set a little bit of batter aside. You could do this in a piping bag, but I did it in a plastic baggie because it was easier for me. But you're going to want to add your coconut sugar and cinnamon into the baggie and mix. You could do this separately in a bowl. It would probably be a lot easier than the way that I did it, but this worked. So then once you have it thoroughly combined, you want to spray down your pan and place your pancakes. They may be a tiny bit smaller than the other pancakes because you did reserve some of that batter, but trust me, in the end it doesn't make a huge difference. Here is where the cinnamon swirl comes into play. So you're going to take that plastic baggie or piping bag that you used and try not to cut the plastic into the pancake like I did, and squeeze it into a swirl in the middle of the pancake. So this is going to give your pancake that cinnamon sugar texture and flavor that we're going for. Now what I did is I placed my sliced apples on the griddle just like this, but if you are doing this at home, I would recommend that you place them in a separate pan with a little bit of water and then top them with more coconut sugar and cinnamon and cook them like that, because mine turned out a little tiny bit tough, but I know that if you were to kind of almost steam them with some water, it would be a lot softer and more delicious. And then I just flipped them, as you can see, and I went ahead and flipped the apples as well, but not as gracefully, because clearly I am a pro. Now is where you can flip the pancakes and reveal the beautiful cinnamon swirl deliciousness. I don't even know. And then you can go ahead and put them on the plate because we're about to present them like we did before with the other ones. Then I just went ahead and put the apples in a little pan to keep them aside because they were done cooking, and yeah. Here I took the apples and placed them on top of the pancakes like so. It's pretty obvious what I'm doing. And then I went and put some 100% maple syrup on top and topped it with some cinnamon. And that's pretty much all I did for these. They turned out good, but I would definitely recommend you taking the tips on how to cook the apples because they were a bit tough. And that is the end of this video. If you choose to recreate these, please tweet me or Instagram me. I'll leave my links in the description. And also don't forget to tag Thriving on Plants because she is the creator of the basis and the inspiration for this recipe. I hope that this was able to inspire you that eating healthy really isn't that hard and can be super delicious, and that veganism isn't that scary. This video took so much time and effort, so thank you so much for watching, and if you have any requests, leave them below. And make sure to have a great day. Bye guys!